Good morning. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the first of 2 live streams today. And in 3, 2, 1, I step into the camera. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. And so, of course, the Ahn Rho Project is a self-therapeutic multimedia project. And I've actually taken another 2 days off without live streaming. So, I'm going to talk about what happened in the past maybe 2 days once again. And I apologize for all these interruptions. It seems like for the past 2 weeks, it's been like a 50-50 on and off schedule. I might plan for 7 days of live streaming, but I'm gone for 3 days and I'm on for 3 days. So it's like on and off, on and off. Needless to say, there's been a lot going down. What I have to cover first today is just a lot of food depth. What you see is what you get. So in the title it says food depth. You can see that in the hashtag, but lots of photographs, lots of stuff here that I have to run through, and it's mostly food that comes from my caregivers. So long story short, it is depth, and I have to cover it all because as a part of the Ahn Rho Project, one of it has to do with inventory upkeep. So what comes in must come out. I have to cover all the things that come in, and that's what we're going to cover today. So you're going to see, I'm going to talk about the avocado shake, which you see on the side. There are 3 photographs there. We're going to cover some stuff that I also ate, sort of like dishes, like there's a crab meat dish that I ate from them. That they also made some watermelon. We have some cantaloupe here in the camera, so obviously there's a lot of that. And then we have a lot of this garbage here, which you see is I guess I'm going to try and pull this up close to you. So all this junk here, again, is just remaining leftovers from food that I've eaten that I never anticipated I would, but I have to cover anyway. So with that being said, let's just talk, very briefly, the Ahn Rho Project, self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to reach the goals and challenges I've set, the goals and heights I've set for myself. Self-therapeutic process, solving the problems and challenges in my life. That's a brief introduction. Has many sub-series, including the 1000 Days Till Death and the item catalog sub-series. One focuses on inventory, so all the objects and possessions in your life. So it's a very shallow series, but it's like business management. And then we have also the 1000 Days Till Death, which says I have a deadline of 30 months to achieve everything, because by then I'll be 30 years old, and then I'm assuming that I'm going to die at 30. There's going to be a third new sub-series in addition to these 2, and obviously all of these sub-series plus segments of life such as money, finance, relationships, hobbies, and interests are all part of the Ahn Rho Project. It's this big time record or autobiography for me to look back on 20, 30 years down the road. It's also like a game in real life, survival game, and it's also like a business project. It's all of these things, and of course maybe you find some of these things relatable, and if that is the case, then welcome to the Ahn Rho Project wherever you're from, whether that be Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, a new platform called Africa TV if you're from Korea. So 안녕하세요, welcome to my channel. And I'm not sure if I butchered that. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. Wherever you're from, konnichiwa, bonjour, okay, wherever you're from, welcome to the Ahn Rho Project. So let's just deep dive into the stuff that we have set for today. And there's a lot of food to cover. I'm going to most likely miss a lot of things because I'm working off the dome, but we're gonna do our best. So what do we have? I would say at least 1,000 servings of packaging, garbage, food, waste. All that belongs to my caregivers that I've been eating that I shouldn't have. I've been trying to wean myself off of stuff like that. But the past week has been just a horrible collision. Everything came together at once. Workplace benefits, dental appointments, my caregiver's illness, and we're going to talk about that soon. My caregiver's birthday, my cousin's birthday, my brother coming back and two from university, myself having to deal with new creations on this platform, this project, my volunteering obligations, my workplace colleagues, all that kind of stuff just came together, and paying off my loans to the government for education, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff coming together, colliding, 30, 40, 50 things all at once. And I became really stressed and I binge ate. That's a habit I've been trying to stop, and it was pretty successful until this 2-3 weeks. And so now we're going to cover again on the Ahn Rho Project, the good, the bad, the ugly. I cover all of it on stream. So here's all the food that I ate that I shouldn't have, long story short. So let's start off with what I have in front of me, and then we'll start talking about the photographs on your left hand side, or your left is my right. So what do we have first? So I don't have this in the title, cantaloupe. So, but again, what you see is what you get. What I say in the title, what you see in the camera is what we're going to talk about. So here is some cantaloupe from my caregivers. Ate maybe about 1 or 2 servings. She was chopping, butchering it up last night. And she did a really hard time. I'm going to talk about some health-related matters in the second of 2 live streams today. Okay, and it's going to be a very serious one, by the way. It's going to be about very personal matters. So you see my previous stream, it's about basically my mother's deathbed. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be very sober, but I'm somber, sorry, not sober, somber. And I'm going to try and maintain composure. So I'll take that as a practice run for me to, stay sane. After the cantaloupe, okay, what else do we have? We have this sausage here, smoked sausage. This one is something from my caregivers from my father's side, and he bought this kind of stuff. And I ended up binge eating on that too. This is not the first time I've done it. It's a smoked sausage from No Frills, Canadian supermarket, I believe. We also have something else from No Frills. This is some milk chocolate. So you probably see in the title, European milk chocolate. Again, something that I wasn't supposed to eat, but I ended up anyways. Just trying to run through it. Also, we have the milk chocolate from European milk chocolate. I ate. You can see all these wrappers here are basically that. All this stuff is that. Probably, and here are nutritional facts. I had so much sugar and so much fat. I'm probably going to get diabetes. But that's what happens when you binge eat. And again, this is something that I've had a hard time controlling because of all of these things that are happening in my life. It's still my responsibility, so I just have to find a way to manage it. Otherwise, it's still my fault. Okay, moving on, what else did we eat? There was also a third thing that he bought from No Frills. When my brother was here, before he went back to university, they bought this carrot cake. My brother didn't want to bring it up, so he ended up leaving it here and saying that we should eat it. I ate about 6 portions out of 7. I'm 6 out of 9 portions, so at least 2/3 of the cake. So that's another thing that I have to add on to this sort of like depth, this pile stack of food items that I'm not supposed to touch. Again, very broken family dynamic since, way back as a kid. All the way through for the past 3 decades, it's just been completely, at odds ends. Nothing has ever worked. It's hard to call us a family, but, for what it's worth, always appreciate just getting a roof over your head, food on a table, and clothing to keep you warm. If your parents can do that for you, if your caregivers, your guardians can do that for you, you still have to be grateful. And that's basically, I still have to do that. That's just my responsibility. So we're gonna keep running through all these things. What else do we have next? We have these peanuts, a whole sack of peanuts. And you see all the shell casings here. All this kind of shit is basically me eating food that I was not supposed to. And on top of that, plus all the chocolate wrappings, we have these toothpicks here. And toothpicks from a Chinese supermarket that, once again, I use like 10 of these, 15 of these to kind of poke into the cantaloupe and stuff like that. And just eat like that, and binge eating once again. Ridiculous, irresponsible, stupid of me, and I just have to keep hammering away at these negative habits until I eliminate these habits. And I'm working on some positive health, more healthy habits, obviously. But the most important part is to get rid of all these troubles. Now, what else do we have on the side? So you see in the title it says plus almond plus peanuts. So these are peanuts, obviously, and the traditional Chinese peanuts shelled. We also have that photograph of the almond, the chocolate covered almonds. Now this looks probably pretty disgusting because all these wrappers probably look like cockroaches and shit like that. Again, this is the chocolate from in here, right inside this box. Again, the good, the bad, the ugly. I cover all the good and bad and horrible shit in my life on my streams, and something to look back on 20, 30 years down the road. So here's the almond that you see in the photograph. So we're making it to the photographs on stream now. We have this President's Choice PC brand milk covered almonds. Yeah, what else can I say? I ate this entire bag almost by myself, completely, and almost in one setting too, in two settings, sorry. And yeah, I'm surprised I haven't died yet because you know, it's like that's like 100 grams of sugar in one setting, and well, that's fuck. And then on top of that, so what do we cover now? The ham, the cantaloupe, the carrot cake, the chocolate, the milk almonds, the peanuts, the toothpicks. That's like 7, 8 different things so far. Let's talk about also some waste that I used from them. So over the course of the past 2 days, there were these 2 days in a row where I just spilt laundry detergent across the floor, and then I spilled water across the floor when I was trying to wake up. And it was a horrible day because I woke up and then I knew that there were 50 different things, paying $9,000 back to the government in student loans, dealing with the mess that I have to acknowledge my own mother is probably going to die in the next month, in the next week, who knows. Just also going to work, and then all my colleagues are on vacation, who would usually be my partners, and then I have all this workload amplified. On top of that, obviously benefits and dental appointments during the whole COVID-19 thing. So everything just came together at once, and you know, no one's gonna help you. So this is just life, and that means I had to manage it. I'm very glad to say that I was able to, but it was definitely, you know, these are still comparably way easier to me than the third world problems I faced as a kid. So I'm certainly saying that, you know, it's still my responsibility, and I'm glad to have come out of it. But these are the side effects. I woke up one day, 2 days back to back, and I was like almost like a zombie. I picked up the laundry detergent, walked downstairs, and did the laundry at around 2 a.m. in the morning, because that's when I have to get up. And then unwittingly, I walked upstairs with the lid open, and it spilled all over the floor, and I just got so pissed off. I was like fucking pissed off. And so I took these paper towels that were from my caregivers, I didn't have enough at the time, and just soaked up. I had to mop everything, took a whole fucking hour, and man, so I again used supplies that were from my caregivers that I'm not supposed to. And here's some of them. Here's like maybe 10%. The rest of the soaked paper towel is obviously in the garbage already, but whatever. And obviously I used some of these paper towels also to, I guess, you know, just on when I was binge eating as well, just to wipe my mouth and shit like that. So napkins and paper towels, more stuff. So again, we're racking up to like 100 units of, you know, I don't know, food servings to garbage to waste to food consumption. All that stuff is an insecurity that I am supposed to be able to be on top of, and I've fallen back on my game. All right, I fell back on it. I stress ate, I binge ate, and that's my problem. That's my responsibility. So I'm covering things, and then the last final thing here, I believe, is and here, by the way, is just that bounty paper towel kind of picker-upper kind of thing. So that's more garbage, right? And all of this I'm gonna throw out myself. Okay, I'm gonna throw it out myself. There's one more photograph I have to talk about too, and something that's actually off camera. If you see one of the photographs, it does show avocado milkshake, right? So it's not a milkshake, it's just blended avocado with milk, blended avocado with water. That's all it is. And this is something that goes way back when I was a kid. My caregivers, specifically my mother, would always make would once in a while, every couple months, blend avocado. It's be like an avocado milkshake, and that's because back home, or back when she was back home in Vietnam, that was a common staple. So if you ever go to like a Vietnamese restaurant, like they always name it PHO. So the way to pronounce that is not pho but pho, pho. So there's like a E, it's like a UR enunciation. A pho restaurant. If you go there, what you'll find is oftentimes in the milkshake section, they have jackfruit, they have all these tropical fruits, papaya, but avocado is usually in there as well. And that's something that I guess always took back from, way back in the 1990s when I was just a wee little kid, maybe like 5 years old. This is going back 2.5 decades to when I was a kid, like mid 90s. I'm a 90s kid. You know, low income. We were in several columns of debt. Just again, the whole refugee thing, coming here to a new country and all that kind of stuff, and having pretty much nothing, even scraping by just get food on the table to keep a roof over our head. I remember one thing that I really enjoyed from my mother was that avocado shake, and she made it again. I guess it helps that I've been trying to repair the damage that we've had for the past 2 to 3 decades over the course of these past 6 months, and I've been wildly successful in ways that I never thought I could be, only that I imagined but never thought could come to realization. And I'm very glad to say that it's come to this point. So that's something that I really appreciated. And of course, finally, the last photograph, we have that dish down there in the photograph of watermelon, as well as it looks empty. There's a carrot cake that's right there. So there was watermelon that I ate. Also on the same day, the next day after the watermelon, so that dish of watermelon, I binge ate on my mother's dish of entirely imitated crab meat. So it's not real crab meat, but it's like crab meat that's made of gluten or something like that. We have a lot of vegetarian dishes that mimic fake meats, especially in Chinese cuisine. So we are Chinese, okay, so that's that. It's a fake meat for vegetarians. So that's something that's a very common staple if you're not familiar with Asian cuisine. We call it dai, it's like dai. So it's very vegetarian foods again. And so, we have maybe about, in this entire stream, almost 13, 14, 15 whole items, individual items, and in terms of food portions, at least maybe 50 to 100 portions, plus the waste brings it up to about 100. All these packaging pieces, all this stuff, I'm going to clean it up. Prior to these 2-3 weeks, before things went to hell and I had all this management chaos going down, I was actually able to stave off. I always just pay my own bills, eat my own food, do everything myself, and be independent, because they have a lot of problems to resolve, and I have to solve my own problems and make sure that, this is the sad part if you live in a very broken dynamic, very just low poverty family. What happens is you have so many problems yourself that you can't be there for your own family members, and they have so many problems that they can't be there for you. In fact, it gets so bad that if they even bother to try to help you, what they try to do actually makes it worse for you, and what you try to do makes it worse for them, because you can't help each other until you can help yourselves first. That's how bad it is. It's so bad that you can't even provide anything minutely useful to each other, because there's so much bullshit. And so, prior to this, I have been just paying my own rent, buying my own groceries, and they do their own thing, and that's what it is. That's life, But you still keep climbing above it, and you look forward to the day where you can sort of come back together. Or if you've never been together, like my situation, at least you look forward to a day where you can hopefully come together. It's been 3 decades in the running, but I can say for a fact that things are better than they ever used to be. And so, just going off this trend, I'm covering all the depth here today, and we're going to talk about something that's very relevant to all this family stuff in the next live stream. So I said there are 2 live streams, and the next one I'm going to get to is very important. It's named Mother's Deathbed, and man, yeah, I had a hard time typing that in. But yeah, so we're gonna get to that, and it's gonna be very personal. And I think I have enough training and practice with live streaming and being open with the very personal issues to the point that I can actually speak about them without breaking down or whatever. I am strong enough now and competent enough to speak on very personal matters openly without without becoming erratic or anxious or getting too emotional. I've become very good at that now, I think, and that's good. I've been practicing for that moment, so that's what we're going to talk about in the second live stream. And it is going to be, maybe I'll crack here or there, but hopefully I can maintain my composure. So it is about something very serious. It's about tumors. It's about relationships. It's about basically watching the old people who hurt you pass away, and still having to come to terms with the fact that, of course, I still want to take responsibility for everything that they've given me, regardless of how much damage they've done, because they hurt each other as well, right? And they had a hard life as well. So I'm trying to basically be grateful, and take responsibility for that. And that's basically the next stream, because I don't think I have very much time left with my mother. I don't think so. I'm assuming that she's gonna die this week or something like that. I have no idea how bad it's gonna get, but it's so unpredictable, the situation, and we're gonna talk about that. So with that being said, this is all the kind of nonsensical, it's usually a big topic, but obviously when something heavy and major shows up, the death of someone who's been here for 30 years, that takes suddenly much higher priority than any of the bullshit garbage that's speaking about here on stream. So obviously, that's what's coming up, and let's get serious. Let's get down to business. I'll see you in the next live stream right here on Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're from, and we're gonna try to go in on that project, on this new sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project, where I focus on trying to make the last moments of my mother worth, I can't say worthwhile, but less painful. I want to eliminate as much pain from her life as possible in the last few moments of her life. And that's what I'm going to put my energy towards. So, see you in the next live stream in about 2 minutes. And yeah.